with the Center for Case Management, we're looking into ways that we can incorporate our services to better patient flow and capacity issues in hospitals. So that looks like being educated ourselves, providing content around what that looks like in hospitals. Like, how can your case management department help with the capacity issues in your hospital?
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of Business Ninjas. I'm here today with Kiandra Florence. She's the content director at the Center for Case Management. Kiandra, welcome to the show.
Hi, Kelsey. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be on today.
So excited to have you. So Kiandra, welcome. Why don't you start and tell me a little bit about yourself?
Sure thing. So my name is Kiandra Florence. As you said, I am content director for the Center for Case Management. Just a little background about me. I live in Dallas, Texas, DFW, and my background is in digital marketing. I actually did my undergraduate and graduate programs in journalism, so that got me into writing and branched out into social media, started working with businesses in the content marketing realm, fell in love with it. And now I get to do my content guru magic at the Center for Case Management.
I love that. I love that. It sounds like you've had, a great journey and now you're at the Center for Case Management. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about what the center does?
Yes, absolutely. So the Center for Case Management, we are a woman-owned consulting company in healthcare. Just like our name says, the Center for Case Management, we are the leaders and experts in the case management space. Essentially, we are the people who are going to hospitals, health systems, and telling them how to best strategize their case management department. We bring sustainable and successful outcomes to these hospital systems, and we provide resources, educations, consultants, you name it. We're going in and making sure that the case management departments are viable and valuable.
So I don't know if we've talked about this before, but I have my MSW. I was a social worker for many years. So I appreciate so I appreciate the work that you're doing, because it certainly is so needed. If you want to talk about such high rates of burnout, talking about taking care of yourselves, the work that you guys are doing is so important. So why don't you talk to me a little bit more about, the consulting and how you advise, what that looks like?
Absolutely. That's so exciting and fun to know that you have your MSW. Actually, our president, Bonnie Geld, has hers as well, and she is incredible in that space. So super fun. Yes, consulting is one of our top things that we provide. We go into these spaces, and our consultants, while they are nurses by background, social workers by background, we have physician advisors on our board as well. So a great variety. We really like to cover the care continuum. But our consultants, they have a combined about 50 years of experience between them, and all highly educated, very resourceful, and just love to provide hands-on experience to the teams that they work with in these hospital spaces. So that's the beauty of the center, I would say, is that every one of our consultants and people are experts. We know what we're doing. We have all of the background experience ourselves. We've been in the field and just want to come through and showcase, how we can incorporate best practices to varied teams actually across the world. Our president has worked with some health systems in Qatar recently. So now we're global, and that's super exciting to see that, case management is needed everywhere, and that we could be the ones to come in and show, hey, this is how we can restructure your department. Here's a better way to do it. And being able to see the outcomes at the end is just the best part of it.
And I think, you raise a really interesting point about talking about consulting, about structure, but also one of the biggest pieces of case management is also data. So
Yeah.
talk to me a little bit about the services besides this consulting and kind of the restructure advice that you were saying. Talk to me a little bit more about the services that the Center for Case Management offers.
Sure thing. And it's so funny you mentioned data. That's actually one of our, like another one of our big parts and pieces of our company. I'll get into that in a moment. But so I think I mentioned previously, providing educations is a big portion. We have implantation services. So that is essentially like coming into a hospital and completely reorganizing the way that their department looks. So basically a new face to what case management looks like, right? So we offer implementation services. We have assessments, so we could come in and look at what maybe, I don't want to say going wrong, but what's not meeting the needs of an organization. Coming in and providing feedback of ways they can switch off. And then the data piece, oh my God, that's super important. So we have an awesome data dashboard that we built called Cartboard. That was built by our technology officer, Jeff Echternacht, who is actually now consulting for us. He's doing awesome other amazing things in the data world in healthcare. So he's with us at a part-time capacity now, but he and our president, Bonnie, together built the Cardboard dashboard. And what that essentially does is it takes the data from these hospitals and these healthcare systems and structures it in a way that really streamlines the data that's there, utilizing Epic, which is a very intricate, amazing platform within the hospital system, but not all hospitals know how to truly get the best of what Epic offers. So Cardboard is kind of bridging the gap between collecting data that matters, organizing it, especially on the case management and social work side, in a way that is user-friendly, it's easy to understand, and creates like systems that keep everything flowing properly. It's the easiest way to describe Cardboard. So data is super important to us, especially as we lean into what it means on the health equity side, which is something that's very important to us. Making sure that things like the social determinants of health, SDOH for short, are the right questions being asked when you're collecting the data from your patients. How are we addressing equity problems or psychosocial problems when with your case managers, with your social workers? How are you collecting that data appropriately? Things like of that nature. So I would say, yeah, that pretty much summarizes our big ticket services.
That's fantastic. And talking about these services, how are you able to leverage them a little bit more, taking them to the next level?
Well, I mean, we're a team of people who love to learn ourselves. So we're always figuring out how we can, be better. What's happening in the world of healthcare and social work. So leveraging right now, I would say capacity management is something that's very much a big topic right now, just in healthcare. And so with the Center for Case Management, we're looking into ways that we can incorporate our services to better patient flow and capacity issues in hospitals. So that looks like being educated ourselves, providing content around what that looks like in hospitals. Like how can your case management department help with the capacity issues in your hospital? We are very excited about just ensuring that in our next phase of our company, that we are looking at it at a very holistic point of view. so much has shifted since COVID. And so just staying abreast of what's going on and utilizing our expert teams, bringing on more people in the field of patient flow and capacity management into our roster of consultants as well, is leveraging those services for sure.
Yeah, I think that's so important. And I'm curious, when we're talking about hospitals, is it always hospitals that the Center for Case Management is working with? Is it, individual practitioners who run their own practice? Like, talk to me a little bit through like who tends to work with the Center for Case Management the most.
That's a really great question. Because I do say hospitals, and I'll try to weave in health systems there. It's primarily, I would say, hospitals, because hospital case management is, I would say, ever evolving. So that and social work is changing. So we do find ourselves in those organizations more often. However, case management is also broad. So we will, at times work with, smaller capacity health systems. We like to say we'll break it up between, acute hospital systems and anywhere from just providing an education to an organization that's like, hey, like, we want to offer case management here. Like, can you come and provide some feedback here? We're broad and branching out, and I'm really excited to see, how far we can take the company.
That's fantastic. I think that's really, really great. And it sounds like the business has grown not only in the time that you've been there, but over the years and all of the different offerings and who you've been working with as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially since COVID, I think for a lot of businesses, there were a lot of question marks with COVID when that came around. And for us, we're a small women-owned business. Hospitals and healthcare organizations at that time especially weren't focused on bringing in consulting companies. Everything, rightfully so, was around ensuring that patient populations were being served. So, and shout out to all of those incredible frontline workers. Forever will be, grateful for everything they've done. But to be able to see just how much we have grown in the past few years is incredible. Even down to our social media following, it's amazing to see that our company is making an impact in the way that it is with everyone we've been able to work with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I'm curious to pick your brain a little bit, Kiandra, talking about misconceptions. I think that there's a lot of misinformation out there, and I'm curious if you have heard of a lot of common misconceptions, either, not necessarily about the Center for Case Management, but about case management, the services in general. Anything that you want to talk about on that?
Oh, I love that question. I definitely would say there is misconceptions. Oftentimes you might see for social workers or case managers that they're kind of put to the side as, they're just here to fill a role, but their role isn't as important or isn't as valuable. And that's just completely false. Case management couldn't be more valuable to any healthcare space, because, we're really the center of, like, a hub for everyone on the care continuum, ensuring that the patient is being discharged properly, ensuring that the patient is getting the resources that they need to, leave whatever facility they're at and be able to continue giving themselves the care or receiving care from support around them. All of the ways that hospitals or healthcare systems connect, you will find a case manager there in the middle, communicating with everyone, ensuring we're all on the same page to make sure that the patient receives what they need. So if there's anything that could be cleared up, it should be that case management is very important, highly important.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're similar to like a train conductor or like an airplane, like airplane traffic control. Is that what they call it? Being like, okay, you can land now, you're gonna go here. This is the resources you need, like, and staying on top to make sure like, they're like you said, people are receiving equitable services, and being getting the services that they require and that they need.
That couldn't be a better analogy. They're advocates and patient advocates. So it's incredible to see the experts at work. I'm saying we, though I don't have a case management background, but oh my God, I learned so much from them, and I'm just so grateful for that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Kiandra, as we start to wrap up this conversation, is there anything that you want to leave our listeners with?
Listeners, I would say that the Center for Case Management is your go-to for any services, any expertise in the world of case management and social work. Our company cares deeply. All of our team, our staff, our consultants are truly the heart of the company, and they are willing and ready to service your healthcare organization in a very amazing strategic partnership way. I think that's something didn't mention earlier, but it is a partnership. So if you're even in the slightest, curious, please reach out to us, and we're happy to work with you and see how we can ensure solutions and success in your organization.
That's fantastic. Well, Kiandra, this has been a great conversation. I love any opportunity to go back and talk about my social work roots, but you made this conversation absolutely fantastic. It was a joy speaking with you. I appreciate you diving into all of the different services that the Center for Case Management offers, and talking about where things were, where things are going. I think this was a really great conversation, and I appreciate you being on Business Ninjas today.
Oh, you're so amazing, Kelsey. I'm so excited about this and thankful. Best of luck with Business Ninjas. This is an awesome platform that you have here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.